So this is how I used to look at 15, 16 years old. This is how I look right now. And I'm pretty happy with my physique. And it's the physique that's basically gotten me messages like this on dating apps, on like social media, and all that crazy shit. And in this video, I'm going to keep it super simple. I'm literally going to I'm going to give you guys all the secrets to like everything that I've done with my training routine. And by the way, I've been getting so much backlash from people, like a fair amount of hate, because these videos in this channel is just for black guys. People are like, oh, like you're being racist, you're just like being discriminatory. Like, bro, there's guides out there for fat people. There's guides out there for tall people. There's guides out there for women, like for like I'm talking about like fitness and glow up and like self improvement. There's like it's a niche, right? And I thought that there was like no one doing a personal brand for black men. I'm still gonna fucking continue it because I really think that like I believe in this and I want to create like a really awesome community for black guys. So if you have a problem with it, bro, like this stuff will work for you like no matter what. But I just want to speak to black guys to like specifically because when it comes to fitness, like you can be like it doesn't matter, like your race doesn't really matter. Obviously black genetics, it's going to be slightly easier for you to do certain things, but for my channel but generally for my channel, yeah, there are certain things that, when it comes to hair and when it comes to fashion, your style, certain like issues that we as black guys deal with that I just want to basically speak about like directly. So here's my full routine. So step one, and my golden rule when it comes to fitness is keep this stuff so simple. Keep it so fucking simple, man. Like this is going to surprise a lot of people, but I've never like considered myself to be a gym rat or like I've never considered myself to be like this gym bro. I just kind of go to the gym because I like it and I think it like building like an aesthetic body, it's done so much for me. It's fucking crazy. But I've never considered myself to be like a gym rat. And I've never like looked at these YouTube videos where it's like if you start doing these weird sus exercises, you like lie on the floor like with your ass like arched, you can get like a 10% better like connection with the muscle and like you can increase your hypertrophy. Like, bro, I've never looked at that shit. I just literally like a brain dead like dickhead. I just straight up go into the gym. I just lift. Okay, this feels good. This feels heavy. Okay, let me continue doing this. That's just straight up like what I do. So step one, keep the stuff simple. But I'm gonna give you guys everything that I basically do. So when it comes to training, before I even get started in the gym, we got to start like with the basics, right? So we got to start with hype and we got to start with like, pre-workout and like what you basically do before you even get into the gym. I've never taken a fucking pre-workout in my life. I've never done creatine. I don't do any of this bullshit. All these people, I swear to God, have the shittiest physiques. These people that like do like these scoops, I see them in the gym all the time. Like, bro, it pisses me off. You're getting acne, you're fucking yourself up, you're bloating your face. Like, don't do any of that shit, by the way. Like, you don't need to. I've never done any of it. You guys can see my physique. I swear to God, never taken creatine, never done pre-workout. This is what I do. I go to the gym, I have water, like a liter of water, and then I have like 2 bananas. That's all I do, right? So bananas, that's what I basically do, like straight up just bananas in the gym. And then I basically listen to music, right? So music, I have like my own gym playlist. Music is so important for the gym. Like not a lot of people speak about this, but music, like low key, it will help you guys out in the gym. So find a playlist that you guys feel will hype you up, right? Don't listen to like some R&B like Brent Fires, like bro, because that shit, I can't lie, like it's dope, I love it, but it's not gonna hype you up in the gym, right? For me, I had a whole phase where I was just listening to like Pop Smoke, so you guys can like tell like the levels I was at, like just full on like rage. Like getting that like that hype will help you guys out so much. So music, you're gonna want to have a playlist that you listen to and you're like holy shit, like let's go. Whether it be Drake, whether it be like some Central C, whether it be like bro, some like anyone, right? You're gonna want to have a playlist that you feel like, oh shit, like let's go. You're hyping yourself up because that energy is gonna carry you through the whole session. And honestly, you can get like 2 to 3 times better workout just by having that energy, like going into the workout. You're like, fuck, let's do this, right? So number one is like music, right? Have that playlist going, that pre-workout. Like I said, I just do bananas, I do water. I keep the stuff so simple. And when it comes to the actual training routine that I was doing, I'm training 7 times a week. I know for some people that might sound fucking crazy, like excessive. It's way too much. That's just my personal style, right? So 7 times a week. And the reason why I've been hitting 7 times a week for the past, honestly, like 3-4 years is because when I first started, I was honestly kind of like lazy, right? I'd set a schedule where I'd be like, okay, like, yeah, Monday gonna do this, Wednesday. So like I'd skip days, right? So I wasn't doing every single day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday, or maybe like Thursday, Friday. But it just got way too complicated for me. And what I personally found is that I would like skip days because I didn't have like a set like schedule, right? You don't randomly skip brushing your teeth, right? You don't randomly skip taking a shower. At least I hope you guys don't, right? I personally found that if I was able to integrate like the gym into my everyday routine, I'm not going to skip that shit. So that's why I do 7 times a week. Personally, yeah, maybe it might be a bit too much. I just train 7 times a week, but the way that I'm able to basically maintain that is what I do is I break everything down into body parts. So there's so many splits out there. Split for you guys, if you're a beginner, it's just a fancy word for like your training, your routine, like your regimen, like what you specifically do. So my routine is I basically break down my body into specific body parts, and then I train that body part for the entire session. So what I basically mean by that is, so Monday, for example, I'll just do arms. Right? I have an arm day on Monday. Tuesday is chest day on Tuesday, back day Wednesday. Thursday I'll do legs, and then Friday what I'll actually do is I'll usually have these two muscles that I want to focus on the most. For example, I'm trying to like get a bigger chest and bigger arms, and then I'll basically just fit those other two into the week, because obviously like I don't have 7 muscle groups, 7 like body parts that I want to basically train. For example, I don't train abs. I know that might sound crazy, but it's all through dieting. Like, you guys can check out my video on how I basically got abs and how I got pretty shredded. So that's my routine, but I honestly want to do something pretty cool in this video. I'm going to give you guys a specific routine that you guys can do if you're a beginner, because I completely understand that maybe like 7 times a week might be like way too fucking much for some people. So 7 times a week might be a lot for you, but what you can do is maybe like 4 or 5 times a week. That's completely doable. And bro, if you start coming with excuses saying I don't have time, bro, look at your screen time on your phone every single day. Guarantee it's 4 or 5 hours minimum. Bro, you're probably like looking at your screen time right now and thinking, oh shit, like fuck, it's like 8-9 hours. Like, bro. By the way, I made an Instagram, so if you guys want to basically reach out to me directly, you guys can check out my IG. I might not like get time to respond to all the messages, but if you send me a message, I might see it. So if you guys have video ideas, questions, concerns, anything like that, shoot me a DM, and yeah, we can basically chat. So if I was a complete beginner, here is the routine I would basically recommend for you guys, hands down. So number 1 is not even going to be anything part of the routine. It's going to be your goal, right? Goals, I fucking hate goals. It's so like wishy-washy, but I'm going to make it kind of cool. Just find someone that you think has a really, really good aesthetic physique, and then basically just use that as your motivation. So when I first started out, it was these 2 guys. One of them was like this underwear model. This other guy was like this Gymshark model. These 2 black guys, and I thought they had like the craziest physiques because it was super aesthetic. It was super lean. It wasn't too big. It wasn't too small. It was like the perfect shape. It just looked really, really aesthetic. So those 2 guys here, I'll put them up on screen, is basically my goal, right? And as a beginner, when it comes to actually lifting, here's what I recommend. It's sort of the similar thing to what I'm doing right now. You just pick a muscle group and you train that muscle group for the entire day, like for that entire session, right? So I would just recommend you go arms, you go chest, you go back, you go legs, and then you have a whole day dedicated for cardio, right? So I hope that makes sense. So for example, on Monday, you're hitting arms, right? Tuesday or Wednesday, you're hitting chest. And then you're hitting back, and then you're hitting cardio as well. These are like, there's 5 things that you basically need to do. So 7 days in the week, you basically find the days that work best for you. The reason why I like to train 7 days a week is because I find it helps me be so consistent, right? It's just like brushing your teeth. Like, you always brush your teeth in the morning no matter what. It's just a habit. The reason why I like to train every single day is because it's a habit, right? If I've tried it before where I kind of like train 4-3 times a week but go like really hard, really long sessions, that usually doesn't work for me, because what usually happens is like maybe I skip a day, or maybe I'm tired one day. I'm like, oh, I'll just do it like the day after, or I'll just like double stack, or I'll go even harder like, the next couple of days. That shit doesn't work for me, because when I do that, like I start to always like make these excuses. But if I have a schedule where I'm training every single day, it's like if I skip today, it's like, bro, there's no excuse, because I'm on the training schedule where I train every single day no matter fucking what, right? So there's no excuses for me. That's just why I like to train 7 times a week. But for you guys, honestly, like if you do think you have the discipline, I recommend just doing those 5 things, right? So you hit arms, you have an arm day, you have a chest day, you have a back day, and then you also have a leg day, and then a cardio day, right? So those are the 5 things that you're going to want to be training, and then fit them in throughout the week. And then the second thing is going to be what you guys do specifically within those sessions, right? So we're going to go like a little bit more narrow. We're going to kind of like microscope it down. So for example, let's say we're hitting arm day, right? Before we even hit arms, we're going to want to sort of do some sort of warm up. So I always recommend you walk to the gym. Like if you guys live within like a half an hour walk to the gym, walk to the gym. It's going to be free cardio. You're going to basically have a pretty good warm up. And honestly, like there's no reason why you wouldn't, right? I live about 25 minutes to half an hour from the gym, and I just literally fucking walk every day. I walk to and from. It takes me about an hour, like 50 minutes or so to walk, and that's like an hour free cardio a day. And like that's basically the main cardio I do. And like you can see, it's got me pretty shredded. So there's other reasons why I'm quite shredded, like diet, obviously, but that is honestly a massive help, right? If you can do an hour of pretty intense cardio every day just by like walking at a pretty high pace to the gym, it's going to help you out. It's absolutely free cardio. You might as well do it, right? So the next thing is going to be when you get to the actual gym. So if you have quite a bit of body fat, if you're quite fat, you're going to want to basically do even more cardio. This is just my personal experience. Like I said, this shit might not be optimal. This is just what's worked for me, okay? There's so many guys online that say like, oh, do this, do that. Bro, like, I'm going to be like, dead ass, bro, look at my physique, okay? I don't do any of this shit and it's worked for me. So this is just what I'm going to tell you guys. So if you have a little bit of body fat and you feel like you're a bit chubby, walk to the gym. And then when you get to the gym, you're going to want to do even more cardio, right? So what I'd recommend is the warm up, keep it 15 to 20 minutes. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do an incline treadmill walk, right? So you're going to want to kind of walk, not at like a comfortable pace, but at a pace where you're like low-key kind of sweating towards the end, right? Incline treadmill basically just means that you're on one of those treadmills that you can like, those treadmills, and you can just like walk up, have it almost the max incline, put it on a speed where you're like walking, you're like, holy shit, like I think I could keep this for 15, 20 minutes. I'm not sure. That is the pace you're going to want to keep. And towards the end, you should be kind of sweating, right? And then boom, once you're sweating, then the muscle building, like the actual, the weights, like we're going to start lifting weights. That's when that stuff basically like starts, okay? So once we've gotten off the treadmill, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to hit specific exercises for the arm day, right? Because remember, we're hitting arm day today. So for arms, I do the whole arm, right? I do the shoulders, I do the biceps, I do the triceps, and I even hit the forearms, right? So when it comes to arm day, that's what I like to hit. I personally like to hit like from top down, right? So I usually hit shoulders first. I always like to hit shoulders first because shoulders is what gives you that super aesthetic physique. And I also find that when you first start lifting, that's when you have the most energy in the gym. And I want to maximize like my shoulder gains. So shoulders, I always hit first. Then after I've basically hit shoulders, then I'm going to go biceps. I always like to hit biceps, and then I'll basically do triceps. I actually don't even hit triceps that much. I basically just do one exercise with triceps. There's a reason for that. You guys can check out my aesthetic body video and like why you need to hit certain like muscle groups and why you should avoid certain muscle groups. You guys can check that video out. But once I've hit that, I'll usually do some curls for the forearms, and I basically call it a day. But with each like muscle group, I'll usually hit like 2, maybe 3 exercises. And for each exercise, I'll do 3 sets and I'll go to failure. If that sounds complicated, no worries, I'll give you guys an example. So the easiest one, we could just do bicep curls, for example, right? So for bicep curls, let's say I want to hit regular dumbbell curls. That's 1 exercise. And then maybe I want to do hammer curls. That's 2 exercises. And maybe I even want to do it with the bar, right? Then that's 3 exercises. For biceps, I usually just hit 2. You just hit regular bicep curls, and then I usually hit like the hammer curls, which is like this. So this is hammer curls. These are regular bicep curls. And then what I'll basically do is I'll hit 3 sets, meaning I'll go until I can't go anymore. That's until failure. And then I'll go until I can't go anymore. And then boom, I'm done. That's 1 set. I'll do that 3 times. And then once I've done that, got rid of that, like the regular bicep exercise. And then now I start with hammer curls until I can't do anymore. And then after I do that, then I basically I'll move on to the next like part of my body, right? So for example, my forearms. So you've picked some exercises that work really well for you. I'm going to make a full like super in-depth video. It could be like almost like a fucking half an hour long on every single exercise I hit, like, how I hit them with the perfect form. But for this video, I just want to go over my general routine. And honestly, like, you guys can copy this stuff. It's super easy. Like I said, my number 1 rule, keep this stuff simple. It doesn't need to be complicated whatsoever. Not a lot of people actually speak about, and it's going to be the last thing I'm going to speak about, and it's the thing that not a lot of people speak about, is going to be like this pressure to like go into the gym and to do everything perfectly, or like to start lifting and like getting into fitness and doing everything perfectly, right? What I basically mean by that is like there's a fuck ton of videos out there that will like say, oh, this is actually not optimal, and this new study came out, and if you actually like, you tilt your arm like this, like by 10 degrees, and you like, you lift it while like holding it like this, and like, you hold it for 5 seconds, and then you like let it down, that will actually give you a 15% like better like hypertrophy and like the muscle. Bro, that shit doesn't matter. And this is going to sound so egotistical, but look at my physique. I haven't done any of that shit. I just literally, I make sure I don't injure myself. I hit the exercise I like, and I feel like, oh yeah, like I really felt that, like, you know, that really hurt when I did bicep curls. But when I did these other like weird exercises, that didn't like feel as good, even though people say that, like, you know, that's like the optimal exercise. So I'm just gonna stick with bicep curls, right? Like a brain dead caveman. Just like, if you lift, bro, like, just do what you feel like is the best for you, and you feel like is gonna work for you. Avoid injury, obviously, because if you get injured, you're out for like a month, 2 months. Now you're fucked. So obviously hit the stuff with proper form, but you don't need to be like looking at all these like science-based lifting videos. Like, bro, I'm telling you, 90% of those guys have shitty physiques, and the reason why is because it's just not sustainable. They end up quitting. And they're honestly just dorks. So, like I'm telling you, number one rule, like I said, keep this stuff simple. Find the exercises that you like. Honestly, this is my routine. You can copy it. You can not copy it. You can do whatever split you like. You can do push-pull legs. You can do whatever you want. But this is just the routine that's basically gotten me this physique, and I'm pretty happy with it. So that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.